Hey guys, the Strong Boys 19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Black Sabbath's 6th studio album for this review. Since that I had reviewed Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, but for this one it is going to be on one of my personal high favourites once again in the discography of their albums, entitled Sabotage. Sabotage was released in 1975, and this is the follow-up to Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, Vertigo Records once again. So after the release of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, their manager at the time, Patrick Meehan, had basically ripped them off, thinking that he owns more of the money than Black Sabbath, which led to the choice of Sabbath firing Meehan. But unfortunately, after that, the tensions were rising when Meehan sued the band for legal rights, which led to a lot of stress and difficult recording process. This is an album that did not get any of Meehan's credit, and they have been working with a producer named Mike Butcher, and this is the only album that Butcher had worked with Sabbath than any of their albums. But I think that this album is another record where the band experimented quite a lot with their instrumentation. There's a lot of instruments, of the pianos to synthesizers, the harps, and like Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, is an experimental piece of work. Tony Iommi, at this point, with Bill Wood, decided to spend more time in the studio experimenting with their kind of sound that they wanted to achieve for this record. And I gotta say that the production on this album is phenomenal. I love the production of this album. This is maybe my favorite Black Sabbath produced album. While I love some others, but I think that the production of Sabotage really has a big improvement of tones and sound, and I really do love it. Ozzy did not like the amount of time that the band took to record this, because the previous albums took the band a few days or some weeks. This one took a few months to record and produce, and some of the lyrics are based upon the difficulties between Patrick Meehan and Sabbath. Some different types of lyrics, like on space-related type of content. This whole album, for me, is another masterpiece. I absolutely really cite this as one of my new favourite albums of all time, and one of my big favourite albums in Sabbath's discography. Sabotage's front cover has garnered mixed reactions over the years, and is regarded by some as one of the worst album covers in rock history. The inverted mirror concept was conceived by Graham Nash, Bill Wood's drum tech, who was also a graphic artist. The band attended what they believed was a test photo shoot for the album cover, thus explaining their choice of clothing. Said Wood, "The only thing we didn't discuss was what we'd all wear on the day of the shot. Since that shoot day, the band has survived through a tirade of clothing comments and jokes that continue to this day." The album opens with Hole in the Sky, and this song is amazing. Love the guitar harmonies on here and Ozzy's vocals. This song has a lot of action with a lot of punch, and right from the start to the end, I think this is Ozzy's very best vocal performance than any other album that he had done with Black Sabbath. Just absolutely outstanding, and the way he portrays the lyrics with his own emotions, this is Ozzy's finest with Sabbath. Then the song changes abruptly into the second song, Don't Start Too Late, and this always reminds me of a Master of Reality kind of thing. It's less than a minute long, and it's just acoustic, nylon strung guitar strumming, and then it switches into the next song, Symptom of the Universe, and this is another really popular, iconic classic of a song, and this is a song where it has the space-related type of lyrics, and this one has been known as one of the songs that defines thrash metal, like one of the early songs that started that genre. This one really gets stronger and stronger as it continues on, but then it changes into a completely different sound on some softer instrumentation on the last few minutes. But Symptom of the Universe is another song where it just rips everything apart with its energy. But then we go to Megalomania. Megalomania, my favourite song on this whole album, and it's almost 10 minutes. Starts gentle with some cymbals in the background and clean guitars, and Ozzy's vocals are soft as well. Then it builds up, then goes quieter, then builds up, and then with the phasing effects from the crunchy guitar riffs, it changes into another really big, menacing kind of song. Vocal harmonies are perfect on this album, and Ozzy just really makes things better with the way he sings. And musically, it's just another masterpiece. I absolutely adore Megalomania. For me, one of my top 5 favourite Sabbath songs of all time. One of the latest songs, Superstar, which is the other instrumental, it's just a song with a lot of guitar chords and riffing from Iommi, but then it gets better with some haunting but striking choirs in the background and cymbals. It just changes things into, yet again, a haunting kind of way, and I absolutely really do love this one, and it had been one of my favourite instrumentals of all time. Am I Going Insane is really the poppier sounding song. It's the poppiest song on the album, really, and lyrically it's quite a bit similar to the lyrics of Paranoid in a way, but this is really, really catchy, and I just love that the song just has really good memorable hooks like Megalomania and Hole in the Sky, but this one is an excellent song, and I love it when the crazy laughter and screams just come in slowly and then switches down to the Ritz, the last song, and Ozzy's vocals are at his angriest, very angry vocal performance, and his vocals are phenomenal of this song. This is lyrically based around the difficulties from Sabbath and Mayhem, and the lyrics really show it. It's the second to longest song on this record, almost 9 minutes, and this just has a lot of power and strength and a lot of time changes. Like Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, this was a really unique album, from the complex arrangements to different time signatures, and switches things into different sounds, from aggressive to really weird, childish kind of instrumentation. And there's some bit of that childish instrumentation later on in the Rit, but the song just switches things into a lot of places with a lot of riffs and brilliant musicianship. But then on some releases you hear a song called Blow on a Jug, which is really just, I would say, filler, but not really bad filler. It's just a very quiet audio piece of piano and Bill's vocals of Blow on the Jug, which is a very random thing to finish the album on that note. But other than that, Sabotage is, to me, another masterpiece of an album, and this will always stand out in history as one of the really unique albums in metal, period. And let me know what you think of Sabotage by Black Sabbath in the comments below. Once again, a huge well done to the band with experimenting and the outstanding vocals from Ozzy. There's nothing bad I could really say about Sabotage. So I'm going to give Sabotage by Black Sabbath a 10 out of 10. Another classic and one of my favourite albums of all time. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.